My name is Shayler Whittam, and I'm with the Lewisburg High School Marching Band, and we're going to be going to California to march in the Rose Parade. Woo! We are one of 10 bands, high school bands, to march in the Rose Parade, and what this means to me, this is just an amazing experience. This is going to be on my top 10 things that I do in my lifetime, and I'm just happy to share it with my friends and family. Speaking for the whole band, during rehearsals we're all very exciting, and going into this we knew it was going to be a lot of work, but we've put in every ounce of work that we can, and having the community, such a great community behind us, has been really encouraging and helped a lot. We've done several fundraisers, and we've been so appreciative of all the support, and including Cheerios, they donated $25,000 to go to this cause. Being drum major, I get to see how much progress we've done, and seeing every student individually grow in their musicianship and how excited they are for this trip, it just keeps escalating, and I'm really proud to be leading the band. Me, as well as the rest of the band, we're really honored to march down the streets of Pasadena, California, to not just represent us and the community and the state of Kansas, but also years past, band members, alumni, everyone, the community. We're really blessed and honored.
Hi, my name is Brett Butler. I'm the assistant band director here at Lewisburg High School. This is my first year teaching here at the high school. I started back here in the summer. So this is my first legitimate year teaching here at Lewisburg High School, and my first real-world teaching job too. I student taught last year in the Olathe schools, but my first real job here is at Lewisburg High School. So I'm pretty fortunate and honored to be with this fantastic group of musicians going on our way to Pasadena, California in a couple days actually. We're going to be leaving the 26th, very early in the morning. It's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of us once we get to California, and incredible memories are going to be made on this trip. It's going to be one of those top 10 things that you'll remember the rest of your life. And with Mr. C working on this project, ever since the kids that were in high school now were, just in kindergarten, he's truly never given up on anything. And that's one thing that is very special about him. And his work ethic is unbelievable. We see him sending up his emails, up till 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., out to parents, students. He just needs to get all of his messages across, and he's a very organized person. He has a systematic way of doing things, and that's really helped shape this band program in an incredible way. So yes, getting to know some of these kids, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of them. As I've said, when we were starting this whole project, when Mr. C was starting this, a lot of them were in kindergarten, first grade even. So getting to go to this parade is, in terms of it was like sports, it would be like us winning the Heisman and getting to go into this parade, with being only one of 10 bands in America. We're truly fortunate and honored to, and a lot of the students now are getting this. They're starting to understand how big of a deal this is. So talking about just being one of 10 schools, I can't even fathom how many different schools that would be out in America. That's pretty phenomenal to just have one school from Kansas getting to go to this Rose Parade is truly remarkable. And like I said, it's an honor for us to go and getting to express all of our musicianship and knowledge that we've gained, in band. And one thing I like to think back is in band, we're not just learning notes on the page, but we're also developing responsibility, and that comes on with learning this on the trip too. And we learn leadership skills. We learn to bond with each other too, and that's really going to help us, especially being on the road for 9 days and having 6 buses. It's really going to get a camaraderie happening with everybody.
Well, we finally got there. We've been raising money for a year, and we finally reached the $500,000 mark, and we are ready to go to Los Angeles to march in the Rose Parade. This is so exciting. I'm John Chisetti. I'm the band director at Lewisburg High School. I've been here for 39 years, and this is going to be a great, great trip. You can see on the map that over the years we've gone to a lot of places. We have performed in St. Louis, we've performed in Chicago, we've performed at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, we performed in Washington, D.C. at the National Independence Day Parade, the Indy 500 Parade in Indianapolis, the Veterans Day Parade in New York City, and now we're heading west all the way to sunny Southern California to march in the Rose Parade. This has been a year-long process raising the money for this trip. So we made our little slider here of the bus all along the way as we've been earning the money. And we've been doing all kinds of crazy things to earn money for this trip. The biggest one was our letter writing campaign, where we sent out letters to all friends and family telling about this great opportunity that we have, and the response has been amazing. We've received donations from all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and 2 foreign countries, adding up to over $186,000 raised through the letter writing campaign. We did our annual band garage sale. We earned $44,000. We've done car washes, we've done raffles, we've done all kinds of things to raise the money for the trip. And now it feels so good that we have done it and we're on our way. So at the end of November, I was surprised. It was a big surprise to all of us that the Million Moments of Good organization, which includes Cheerios, presented us a check of $25,000 just completely out of the blue because they felt like our organization was something that they wanted to support. Our message resonated with them, and this really pushed us over the top, and it's going to make this a great trip for all of us. We began applying for the Rose Parade more than 10 years ago, and every time that we would apply, we would get a little bit better. They would send us a letter saying, "Thanks for applying, this was not your time," but we got better and better, and we finally, after all those years, we finally hit it. That's generations of kids in the band, some who are long since graduated, who helped put us there, and now we are finally going with this group of kids. And it means a lot to us, but I'd like to talk a little bit about what it means to me, and as a band director and just as someone who's been doing this for all these years. You know, it's not the most important thing in my life. My wife, my family, my faith, all of the students that I teach, I care about them more than I care about the Rose Parade. But as a band director, as a career person, marching in the Rose Parade is the biggest thing I've ever done, the biggest thing I'll ever do as a band director. This is a career pinnacle. And I will go to my grave and people will say, he took the Lewisburg Band to the Rose Parade. And so that's why all this work is well worth it, and I know that my students are going to rise to the challenge and they will not let us down. You can tell I like to hang things on the wall. So we've got flags of all the different states that we've performed at and a lot of the events that we have done. Of course, the U.S. flag, that particular American flag flew over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Then they sent it to us to put in our band room. Of course, we perform in Kansas all the time. We took 2 trips to St. Louis, Missouri, and performed there. We performed in Chicago, Illinois. We went down to Texas to play at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. The red and white one with the stars is the District of Columbia. We performed in Washington, D.C. for the Independence Day Parade. Indiana, we played at the Indy 500 Parade in Indianapolis. The next one is the Pennsylvania flag. We stopped, and on our way to New York, we stopped in Pennsylvania at the Flight 93 crash site. And we did a wreath-laying ceremony there. That was one of the most moving events, I think, of my career. The next one is New York State. We performed in the New York City Veterans Day Parade, and then we've got the big banner from the street. We were at the end of the parade. We're walking back to the bus, and they've got these banners on the street poles, And I turned to our tour guide and I said, I want one of those banners for my band room. He said, oh yeah, that'd be nice. I said, no, I'm not kidding. I want one of those banners. And it took some phone calls and some arm twisting, but we got it. And here it is hanging in the band room. We also perform for quite a few professional sporting events. So we've got the old Kansas City Comets, the Washington Nationals baseball team, the Indy 500, the Missouri Mavericks. We also have performed in St. Louis for the Cardinals and Kansas City Royals. We've played at Kauffman Stadium 10 times there. We've also performed at many different universities and colleges, and so we've got the pennants of all of those on our wall as well. All of these things are it's not about the past. Schools are not museums. Schools are about the future. And everything that's on the wall is pointing to the future. What's next? What's next? So we're going to put a California flag up there, but the question is, what comes after that? That's up to the future students in Lewisburg Marching Band. We also in the band room have a number of plaques and trophies all around the room from performances that we have been successful at. When we're getting ready for the Rose Parade, it's very, very important that we perform our very, very best. And we've been working hard this year to do that, and we've given ourselves a lot of opportunities. These trophies represent the fruits of that work, but the trophy itself is not the main thing. The trophy is an indication that we're heading in the right direction and that we are getting better and better and better every single time. And that's what we need to be for that Rose Parade, because we were going to be on the world stage representing not just our school, but our community, our state, and our whole region, and we have to be the very best we can possibly be. The Rose Parade is a 5.5-mile march. That is a great test of our endurance and our strength, and it's not something you just get off the bus and do without preparing. So we've been working on this all year long. We've done a lot of things to get ready for that 5.5-mile march, which, by the way, is the distance from the Lewisburg High School to the Lewisburg Cider Mill. If you're familiar with that, that'll give you an idea of how long that is. We had 12 evenings at the track this summer. We would walk around the track and march around the track and get stronger there. We did 5 community parades building up to a 5.5-mile march around Lewisburg in full uniform. And we've also individually been walking and walking and walking. Garmin Company gave us each a VivoFit watch, and we track our steps. We try to get 10,000 steps every day, and we have already recorded almost 150 million steps as a group getting ready for the parade. Every time a student reached a milestone, they would get an official wristband. So for 500,000 steps, they got the white one, and for 1 million steps, they got the red one, and for 1.5 million, they've got a purple one. And we've got a number of members of our group who already have 2 million steps getting ready for the parade. We're going to be strong. That's one of our slogans. The band makes me strong. One of the key principles that we work on in the Lewisburg Band is what we call positive patriotism. Positive patriotism is not superficial kind of patriotism, but an understanding that as members of the community, as members of our country, we have an obligation to use the talents we've been given to serve that country and to serve the people around us. And that's what we do. It's being good citizens of the community, good citizens of the band. We have performed at Veterans Day ceremonies every single year, saluting the heroes of our country. We use our skills to lift up our community, performing in parades and ceremonies and all kinds of events. And that's why representing our community in the Rose Parade is so significant for the Lewisburg Band.